The journey of infertility and treatment can be a difficult and an emotional one. Many losses are associated with infertility, like the loss of hopes and dreams. It can be quite difficult for others and those experiencing it to understand. It can help to talk to a counsellor who works in this area. So a fertility counsellor can provide advocacy in this medical environment if you need it, can advise you about the complaint procedures. They have knowledge of relevant legislation associated with human-assisted reproductive technology. They can assist you in making your own decisions around treatment or stopping treatment by providing information about the different options available to you. The counsellor can assist you to consider the implications of decisions around fertility, like using an egg donor or a sperm donor, embryo donation or surrogacy. They can offer resources, information and research about donor conception and donor linking and surrogacy.
Through the egg donation process, one of the steps is that once you've been matched with a couple that you have individual counselling, and then if the parties agree, have a joint counselling session. I found this particularly useful to go through the counselling, particularly with my husband, so we could both sit and talk to someone about the issues and the implications, not only for myself personally, but for us as a family, and for our children, because there would be a biological link if a child was born. So the individual session was excellent, and then meeting the couple and having someone neutral there was great, because she was able to bring up scenarios that we hadn't thought of. So it was really a very important part of the process for all of us, and I think ongoing too. If that relationship needs help, it's really important to go back and talk to someone who understands.
During my infertility journey, I didn't see a counsellor at all. I guess I didn't really know that they existed. The experience that I was going through was incredibly stressful, as I know it is for everybody going through infertility, but I felt very isolated, I felt helpless, and I felt like a failure as a woman because I wasn't able to conceive a baby, which I thought was, you know, the fundamental part of being a woman. So feeling like I was the only person that I knew in that position was really hard. And I think had I been to an infertility counsellor, I would have had some coping strategies to deal with that.
So the fertility counsellor can help you to better understand your feelings and responses in a confidential environment. They can help you to express how you're feeling, helping with that grief process. They can help you to devise some coping strategies for treatment. They have knowledge of psychological issues like grief and depression, and they can refer you to other services if you need this.
While I was going through IVF, I had recurrent miscarriage, and I found at a certain point of the journey I was finding it quite difficult to cope with the emotions and feeling anxious constantly. So on one of my cycles after replacement of embryos, I went and made an appointment to see a counsellor just to cope with the worry that I had through that period of time, and I found it really useful just to sit and chat to someone who understood what I was going through.
At first I couldn't understand the need for a counsellor. I thought, we're tough, we can handle this, it's going to work, there won't be any problems with our fertility treatment. However, there came a time when things weren't going to plan, and my husband and I, we started not really communicating with each other, and because it was just too painful. But going to see a counsellor and having her act as mediator between us helped bring us back to communication and to let each other know that we were on the same path, even though we were approaching it differently. It enabled us to leave the pain behind, but just get the message across to each other that we did still love each other, we were still on the journey together, and it was so helpful. I think she went a long way to saving our marriage.